Jewish town historically. We say the Jewish ghetto, when it was the fact that Jewish people had to live there by law. They didn't have an option. Christian Czechs could move freely between Old Town, New Town, Little Town, but if you were Jewish, you lived in the Jewish town. Now the Jewish town was opened, meaning Jewish people could move, in 1783, and that's when they renamed it Yosefov, after Yosef II, who was the emperor who changed the law. So you'll see on the street, like behind you in that red sign, you see the number of the building, 127, and then Yosefov, that's for the name of the neighborhood. But it was its own historic city, and it has its own unique history. So we're going to travel back. Yeah, and that all came much later, so we'll get to that. We'll talk about why it looks the way it does after we've seen the past. So you guys can get your headsets out. And we'll use the synagogue that's behind me here as your anchor point back into the past, so that's what you need to face. The Jewish town had a lot of buildings. You can see here these buildings are pretty close together. Not so grand and palatial and fancy as they are now in modern
the streets got smaller and smaller.
So with only
Only one green space.
If you look
If you
past
look past the synagogue,
behind
behind it,
you'll
you'll
see
see
a
a little bit of greenery,
That is
and that is the Jewish cemetery.
It was the
It was the only place they were allowed to bury their dead. So over hundreds of years, the cemetery was very tall as the graves were layered on top of each other. All right. Give you guys a moment to look around. Do you have any questions? Okay. All right. So we're going to come back for the day. Do not take your headset off yet. Leave your headset on. So we're going to travel one more time period. So keep it on.
This time
This time, I want you to turn around and look for Maria. She's standing next to buildings. You can turn around and look for Maria. All right, so we're going to travel now 10 years later. 3, 2, 1. All right, so now you are looking at the evening in Yosefov, in the Jewish town, 1600. So this is still during the reign of Rudolph II, but now it's Friday, it's Shabbat, so everybody's at home, it's a quiet night. And if you turn around and have a look at the synagogue, you'll see below the synagogue is seated a mysterious figure, the golem, the frog. You may be familiar with this legend. The legend of the golem is quite famous. There's a lot of different versions of the story out there. Most of them revolve around a man-like figure being made out of